scepter, what's wrong with Shaq? Saw the tide, I wonder what's wrong with Mike. Lesbian stole the arm, what's wrong with Dykes? What's wrong today was wrong yesterday. What's wrong with truth? Liars got nothing to say. Spirits and bottles is what's wrong with booze. No code of the streets is what's wrong with crews. Too much bias is what's wrong with news. It's not the same leather is what's wrong with shoes. I could get shot is what's wrong with blues. Knowledge as a nationality is what's wrong with Jews. You're not Spanish is what's wrong with Negro. You're brown is what's wrong with black people. No energy is what's wrong with money. It's just paper and lacks currency. They're not disciplined is what's wrong with youths. Safe sex taught is what's wrong with schools. Babies having babies pulling out their hair, but he's the man of the house in a baby chair. Following myths is what's wrong with thugs. You're killing people is what's wrong with selling drugs. What's wrong with man? What's wrong with maps? That's not hip hop is what's wrong with rap. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Messing with swan and bird that give the flu. They give the virus and got no cure. Got you taking bait with no law. I'm the white man, what's wrong with y'all? Niggas are monkeys with thinking stall. Blacks are deaf people, and that's a fact with no volition. Is why they act the way they do. Think backwards and forward too. Pioneer clothes, that's why you have an awkward view. What's wrong with me? I chill with Jupiter and Esau. Who's more conscious than cooling black people? What's wrong with crack? It's not evil. Bin Laden against the pyramid, just the ego. Through deception, we still suffer slavery. When acts it's over, don't say maybe. It's old non-slavery is alive and well. But not honor for our parents is why we fell. No man is able to change my descent unless beyond God is Allah, his hand extends. The great sin to us is nationality, and failure to claim a nationality. How far do the effects of great sin go? Down the rabbit hole, walking on gold brick roads. Patriot euros using our common law to call a birthright being taught in the lodge. Your culture was stolen in 1492. You went from being Aladdin to nigga Abu. You say it's a cartoon, but he's got your fares, and you got your mom stocking like caps on your heads.
At the school, I'm told I don't let it cool. At the school, I'm told I don't let it cool. At the school, I'm told I don't let it cool. At the school, I'm told I don't let it cool.
Iron sheets spinning and hoping you've stopped the killing. Most of those holding mics are producing the villains. Losing the children, cells roam, they calling them kids. Won't tell them it's a...
Roots. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisition. See me, give me what you want. See me, give me what you want. Roots break through your inquisitions. Moorish I am to the last breath of me. I'm never worried cause my prince hold the legacy. Full life status I'll forever be. Paint a perfect picture, frame the MSTA. For the works uplifting humanity I pray and you say sin. Save from the blasphemy. Man dying on the cross, you brave be asking me. Sign on the dotted line to upkeep your fallacy. We coming with the eyes wide open. Listen to the message Drew Ali told them. The vanguard coming through the folding. Stand strong army, assume your positions. We're coming for the kill, my law inquisitions. Cause it's boom bye bye in the tip wide head. I said it's no remorse cause I'm plotting after dead. Straight shots blasting, active not passive. Breaking bread with the loyal till blood shed on the soil. I'm asking, who's now ready for the war? Knocking at your front door. See me, give me what you want with your definitions. Roots break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want. See me, give me what you want. Building up a nation, no hesitation. Claiming our stance, moving out the plantations. My footplant, northwest in the Amexem. Raw when I chant, revamp T-Rexum. Heart in the middle, chakra, balance. Hard more metal, iron on the map. Fall back, don't giggle. You might miss the point, red dot in the middle. Don't cry me a river. Drew Ali is the giver of salvation. Learn your books, don't quiver. Head sight of knowledge, birthright bigger than you thought. Remember the ancestors who fought. Remember Haiti revolt. Remember the one still caught in the Willie Lynch syndrome, claiming our dome from our home is the temple. Enlightenment, entitlement, Aquarian info. They think that I've been both. I'm food for their market. Reincarnation, the Jews never lost it. I lost it. Time for reveal. Circle 7 seal. Simply give me what you want with your definitions. Rules break through your inquisitions. Simply give me what you want with your definitions. Rules break through your inquisitions. Yo, who this? I tried to tell me rights get left back. This them I tried this. I tell me feet accept that. Who give the loan talk? Who own the land? Yo, who take the chrome and put it in the hands of these weak mind men? Measurement to mass awareness. Take a Euro man faces gone. They go to frame it. They play with the amen. Lock up and set back. These blocks are a racetrack. Who trying to take back rights? Sounds for the mic and the spotlight. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice be the insight. Trying to take flight for the vultures trying to get me. Wanna sail out tonight if you bout it, ride with me. Deserve to see the world so I'ma take it. Chances for divine transformation, I pay it. Forward for the ones who didn't make it. I'm coming for the taking, taking. Tell me, give me what you want with your definitions. Rules break through your inquisitions. Send me, give me what you want with your definitions. Rules break through your inquisitions. Send me, give me what you want with your definitions. Rules break through your inquisitions. See me, give me what you want. Break it through. 1, 2.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Hand over door, I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle. Using
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Hand over door, I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. danger, running for your life, finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali Craig, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brain waves, squash my heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, yeah, are feminists, stomped on by elephants, more like no prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quickie. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Bet they won't. Yeah, they won't give it a try. New African 77.wordpress.com. Many in the various Moorish circles have made the false assertion that Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who first introduced us to the name Amexem, was not only speaking about Africa, but also the Americas. Most of these misrepresentations of this reference are espoused by Moorish fringe groups, those loose bands of brothers and sisters who choose to call themselves Moors and follow Euro-American sovereign citizen ideology. Conversely, this same belief is held by some members of the Moor Science Temple of America and other types of temples, also a part of the fringe element, calling themselves Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The fringe Moorish, M-O-O-R and M-U-U-R, Moorish, still don't know what a Moor is, teach that North America is actually Northwest Amexem, and that South America is Southwest Amexem. They float an image around from Taj Tariq Bey's website, RV Bay Publications, which in my opinion is full of false information wrapped around a few kernels of truth, to which makes the false information appear real. Misrepresentation of Amexem by rogue Moorish groups. Unfortunately, there are some in the MSTA who subscribe to the same faulty logic. And they also say that Amexem extends over to this region as well, because there is no river in West Africa that has black water. And so the prophet had to be speaking about Rio de Negro in Brazil. I will in this note refute both of these claims. I will start with the easiest one first. It is the custom of these fringe groups to take the prophet's words and twist them to suit their own meaning and definitions based on their own interpretations. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the Father and the Son. So, here, the prophet is making a clear distinction about where Amexem was geographically located, which is the place called Africa now. He explains the dominion and inhabitation of a specific group of our ancestors and confined it strictly to Africa. When he said at verse 4 of the same chapter that the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest Africa was his father's dominion of Africa. In this, we see Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the originator and the one who revealed this lost history of our people, confining to the dominions of the Cushites, Hamites, strictly to Africa. In the 101s, or the Moorish American questionnaire, the question is asked and answered. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest Amexem. What is the modern name for Amexem? Africa.
Wait a second. How come these guys constantly say that Islam is an Arab religion when Dr. Ben says that is not the case?
Come on, son.
Let's move one more time to the glossary section, but this time on page 75, where we find the definition for Africa. The definition of Africa, according to Dr. Ben, a Greek and Roman name given to the continent originally called Alkebulan by its indigenous peoples. Other names which the early Europeans used for this continent are Corphi, Amonis, Ortegvia, Ethiopia, Libya, Oceania, etc. Well. What do we have here? Turns out, according to Dr. Ben, Africa is a Greek and Roman name given to the continent, and the continent was originally called Alkebulan by its indigenous peoples. This is really interesting, because these guys keep saying that Moor is a name that the Europeans gave us when Dr. Ben said
we were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S.
And these guys constantly call themselves African when Dr. Ben said African is a Greek and Roman name. Well, in the immortal words of Capone Noriega, here's some more irony for you. In Dr. Ben's description of Africa, he says that originally the continent was called Alkebulan by its indigenous peoples. So why don't these guys call themselves Alkebulanians rather than Africans? Right below the description of Africa is the description of Alkebulan. And it reads, the ancient name of Africa by the Moors and Ethiopians. If we combine these two descriptions, we learn that Moors and Ethiopians are indigenous peoples of the continent of Alkebulan, aka Africa. But these brothers constantly say they are not Moors, but Africans, and want to bash us when we say we are Moors, when that actually falls more in line with what Dr. Ben is saying. Now,
and what Dr. Ben is saying is falling right in line with what Noble Drew Ali is saying. Because yes, the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest were his father's dominion. But keep in mind that their inhabitation also extended to North, South, and Central America.
North, South, and Central America, including Atlantis Islands, which would let you know that he's talking about both of the hemispheres if he's talking about Amexem. He's not talking about the continent over there only. Why? We're going to carry on. The Origins of Continents and Oceans, Alfred Wagoner. Listen. The idea derived from zoo and phytography are both present in past eras. Namely, in the former of times, there was a land connection between Africa and South America. Remember, that's Amexem. You're not going to say Africa anymore. You're going to say Alkebalan. You're going to say Amexem. Because you just learned that the first true and divine name of Africa is Amexem. And if they're telling you that there's a connection between Amexem and South America, wouldn't that mean that these two places are the same place? If they're connected? No? On the basis of phytography, Engler came to the conclusion, taking the whole situation into account, the above-mentioned occurrences of plant types common to America and Africa would be best explained if we could show that there had been large islands or a continental bridge between northern Brazil, southeast of the Amazon estuary, and the Bight of Biafra in the west of Africa, and another connection between Natal and Madagascar, whose continuation in a northeasterly direction towards India separated from the Sino-Australian continent. The many points of relationship between Cape Flora and the Australian also made desirable a connection between Africa and Australia via Antarctica. Furthermore, Western Africa is in common with tropical South and Central America. This means that there must have been a shallow water connection in the recent past, and one which extended along the northern coast of the South Atlantic between Western Africa and South America. So, are you going to go with the facts that are presented by people who, this is their 10th volume of their book? Or are you going to listen to nigger that could push live? That's not giving you any reference points. Not giving you anything to go research. You just follow them into the abyss of incompetence. And then on top of your incompetence, you're also denying the fact that a prophet came to save you and saved you. And your own wearing turbans and fezzes, and they just took their fezzes off, or they went underground and pretend that they're something else, not Moors. Kept all this from you. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You are gonna learn. Keep playing. These people care. They're gonna tackle their own people in the store because they don't want to wear a mask. What do you think they're about to do to you? They'll kick their own ass right now. So what do you think you about to get? You think you're getting away with some racial discrimination stuff and all that? And all because you don't have a connection to your Moorish history. You're busy caught up in all this other stuff that has nothing to do with nothing. Playing yourself. Supercontinents. Ted Nield. N-I-E-L-D. 2012. So this is what he's been saying. 2012. 10 billion year existence of people on the planet. This is what he's talking about. 10 billion years people been here. And here's how he's talking. Pangea consists of two smaller supercontinents, joined at the hip in the region of the equator, Laurasia, which has Asia in it, in the northern hemisphere, North America, Greenland, Europe, and much of what is now Asia, and the Gondwanaland in the southern hemisphere, comprising South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica. The world we see today is no more than Pangea's smashed remains, the fragments of the dinner plate that dropped on the floor. So that means all this one landmass, right? So it means wherever was called, everywhere was called that. These people make you confine your thinking. The purpose of thinking is not confinement. It's supposed to be expansive. So we're talking about billions of years when all these continents were one, there were people here. And ain't nobody look like modern Europeans. Keep that in mind. There was only melanated people on the planet, the entire planet. All this races and all that stuff came way, way later. We've been here. We super been here. And everywhere we go, we leave our mark. So no one else can come back and say, well, it wasn't, no. Everybody knows. Everybody knows where it's at. When there are people playing around. America is not Africa. America is not Amexem. How? How is it not? How you figure that it's not? When these people play you.
The book goes into a deep 456-year history of the Moorish influence in Pensacola, going all the way back to Tristan de Luna, who was born in a Moorish province called Barovia. And this piece of architecture, basically, it resembles that castle, a castle in his home city. Part of the Moorish aspect of the Moorish architecture is arches. When the Moors came into Spain, they gathered a lot of different aspects from different cultures. It was like a conglomerate of Roman culture, African culture, and European culture. So these arches represent the Moorish architecture. You see also in the windows up there, you have arches. In the towers are also another aspect of Moorish architecture. Another symbol is the red roofing. You'll see a lot of the red roofing like in the Pensacola Museum of Art. You'll see it at the Crown Plaza Hotel. A lot of these buildings are over 100 years old. Like this one is built in 1907. It was originally the city hall. Well, just connecting back to my ancestry, there's a lot of information on the Moorish paradigm, and that connecting with Spain, that ruled Spain for almost 800 years. And a lot of that influence was still there strong in Spain. When they got here, a lot of that influence, like the three dominions in Spain of the Moors, was Seville, Cordova, and Granada. And we have those three names corresponding here in Pensacola: Cordova, the commercial district; Seville, the historic district; and Granada, which is over in 9th and 12th Avenue, that residential area. Everyone in Pensacola should have it, especially now that we know for sure that the site here is for the oldest city, the oldest site for the first settlement in North America, and definitely the young children or young people who should know about this history in Pensacola and have a feel-good or a new perspective about their city.
Because you can't get around it. It's there in hard copy for you to see. It wasn't some African thing. It wasn't some ancient Egyptian thing. Even though they found ancient Egyptian stuff here. And then when you start talking about that, people don't want to talk about that because they want to keep sending you over there. They're trying to tell you that over there and over here is not the same place. If over there is Africa, and then there's things over here that are from over there, these places are the same place. Stop the BS. They're from somewhere, it's the same place. You're looking at the shattered plate. You can't even visualize it in your mind. The plate not shattered. Do you know that's a block on your thinking? If you can't comprehend that everything was one landmass. Because all you've been indoctrinated is these pieces of this puzzle that's not put together. And you're looking at that like that's the puzzle. Oh yeah, whoa, this looks amazing. No pieces put together? That's what incompetence does. Because everybody's supposed to get fact-checked. Everybody's supposed to get fact-checked. Right? Louis Raleigh said there's going to be, watch out for the earthquakes and all that. In 20s, he said this. 20s, he's telling you earthquake is going to split U.S. He was around when people were around. People, prominent people who you know. He was around when they were around. When the stuff starts manifesting like the prophet said and all that, and you're still denying what's really going on, then, you know, it's on you at that point. At that point, it's on you. You might well just pull the trigger.
The big one. Those three words make locals along the west coast of North America shudder with fear. This area is plagued by earthquakes. But hey, at least they are ready. Unlike the middle of the continent, which is woefully unprepared for the event.
Doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers or just a few hundred. Print on demand is an amazing way to make money online.
That physically rips the United States in half. What could cause this? What would the destruction look like? And would the United States become two separate countries? This is What If, and here's what would happen if America were split apart. Megathrust earthquakes are the largest and deadliest seismic events on Earth. They occur along fault lines where the edge of one plate is forced downward into the hot mantle beneath another plate. The Cascadia subduction zone along the west coast of North America last caused a megathrust earthquake on January 26th in the year 1700. And many people claim that it's overdue for another one. The Cascadia subduction zone is created by the Juan de Fuca oceanic plate, which is moving down into the mantle of the North American plate.
Remember, we're talking about one place right now. Stop looking at the shattered plate. Because everything's still connected. So it's not just floating around all over the place. Everything's still connected. What did Juali say he's gonna do? The uniting of something, right? The uniting, right? Uniting, right? Bringing things together from all different parts. That's why when you read the Moorish literature, well, you know, oral statements. Secretaries, what do we put on nationality card? Because we got Japanese joining, we got Turks joining, we got Chinese joining. How come all of them joined the Moorish movement and these Negroes want NAACP and civil rights and all that? Nationality is the unification. Nationality. Juali told you, if you don't play around, you are going to get earthquakes and stuff like that. You're going to get earthquakes and stuff like that. So honors to the Moors who've been on the program and stuck to the program and are assisting in stopping this natural disaster from happening. Just because you're saying that you're a Moor, and you honor your prophet. So you can do stuff from the soul plane, right?
It's not a smooth movement, though, and pressure builds as the plates lock together. And builds, and builds. Until the North American plate suddenly pops on top of the older Juan de Fuca plate. This would trigger a mega thrust earthquake, decimating the western coastline of the United States. But that's not all. Somehow, the force of this terrifying earthquake causes the thinnest part of the tectonic plate between California and Colorado to snap. This is now an end-of-days nightmare scenario. A crack races from California all across the United States, splitting the nation in two. This deafening event would cause roads to crumble, houses to fall into the giant crevice, and many deaths.
No. If this is one place, then it would make sense that there's parts of Africa under Alabama. And what type of sin were the people doing to make that happen? Which prophet didn't they follow to make that happen? Right? How how, negligent were you to drop the plate? Like, what were you doing? What were you? How you dropping stuff? Broken plate mindset. Can't even perceive the plate. Because Jwali said he's the fifth prophet, then there must have been other prophets came before him, told people, hey, you guys better whatever. You think another prophet would have to come if these people were doing what they're supposed to do? If all these people realized that they were the prophet, stop playing around, playing man worship, idol worship, making silver pendants of Noah Jwali talking about their Moors. Have you worshiping idols? So he said, make sure you don't have to make your trek in the wintertime. We got it. Cars covered. Cars covered. Had to take the day off so they can get rid of the snow. Having trucks taking snow to a dumping place where to dump the snow. For all people in the South who, don't even know what this is. It's what happens up here. Everything covered. Just snow everywhere. And then think, what if it was water that wasn't frozen? You have problems, stuff up to your ankles. Why is it all happening? People keep violating. And nature doesn't care about your feelings. Nature doesn't care how hard you worked and all that stuff. Go against nature, you got problems. And the natural thing is that we're Moors. Everyone knows. We're Moors. Our land is Amexem. Let me say Asia, Kebulan, Lemuria, Mu, Atlantis. If you're saying any of those, you're talking about the planet. That's why Pires, Portuguese guy, Portuguese traveler guy, right? He could say throughout his narrative that the world is divided into Moors and Christians. The world is divided into Moors and Christians. And then anybody who was in allegiance with the Moors in any type of way, they were a heathen and all that. Now, they want to burn them at the stake or doing witchcraft and all that stuff because they were riding with the alchemists. They said, we're not going with the way of the papacy. We're going with the way of the founders of civilization, who were the Moors. They're the only ones who went everywhere on the planet. Ain't nobody else went everywhere. Because everybody knows that the Moors and the ancient Egyptians are the same people. Everyone knows this. It's a fact that the ancient Egyptians are the same. The ancient Egyptians and the Moors of North, South, Central America are the same people. We could have unity tomorrow if we say that we're Moors. We don't want unity. Our people want to play games. Right? Egypt Land by Scott Trafton. Egypt Land. Second, there was a twinning development in American ethnology, or more specifically, there was a development in ethnology of two twin sites of interest, Egypt and America. Veritable specimen of black woolly-headed Negroes, wrote Virginia-born Mississippi ethnologist Edward Fontaine in 1877, are represented by the old Egyptian artists in chains as slaves, and even singing and dancing as we have seen them on the southern plantations in the present century. Samuel George Morton, for example, craniometrist, father figure of American ethnology, wrote two major works, The Crania Americana of 1839 and The Crania Egyptiaca of 1844. And as we will see in Chapter 1, American ethnology was founded on this relationship between Egyptiaca and Americana, between Egypt as a site of racialized theorization and America as its investigational counterpart. The racialized, chronologically disruptive figures of Egypt and America were radically dialogic, producing fields of study that at times had no boundaries at all. This connection between Egypt and America is so vast that they couldn't even put it in bounds. How could they if it spanned from over here to over there and back 50 times? Because one people, one culture. Remember, certain things you need melanin to comprehend in your brain. Or you're not going to get it. It's not going to make, you're not going to be able to equate. You're looking at the puzzle pieces, not the puzzle. And you're thinking the puzzle pieces are what it is. That's not what it is. Somebody played you. Take some time, put these pieces together. Until you put the pieces together for yourself, it's not going to make sense to you. And the biggest way that they do that is try to disconnect the two sides. Have you thinking about some type of over there and over here. The relationship of Egypt had with America was not, however, only one of Western expansion or ethnological data and racial theorization. America was seen to have its own antiquity, with its own accompanying chronological scandals rivaling those of Egypt itself. This bipartite division, moreover, was not confined to scientists such as Morton. Stevens, the significant and popular traveler, writer of the 19th century, friend and theoretical ally of Morton, also made a career out of exploring the same two general regions of such importance to American ethnologists, Egypt and Central America. The magnificent tombs of the kings at Thebes rose up before me, he wrote of excavating skeletons near Tikul, and exploring the labyrinth at La Cueva de Maxicuna. Every step was exciting and called up recollections of the pyramids and the tombs of Egypt. The pyramids of the Yucatan and the pyramids of Egypt have an iconographic relationship that remains lucid and robust to this day. But it began in the early days of the 19th century with the coeval rise of American ethnology, American archaeology, and American Egyptomania. Both ancient and newly discovered, both racially charged, the relationship between Egypt and America was altogether intimate. How's over here not Amexem? If over there and over here is the same place, how is it? How could over here, the Americas, not be Amexem? You have to broaden your scope. You're zoomed in, zoom out. You need to zoom out, because they're not telling you the whole stuff. As soon as they talk about Egypt and you're looking over there, they got you. They just got you. Just like as soon as they start talking about birth certificate and license, and you're saying, yeah, my license, my birth certificate, my this and that. That when it's not yours, they got you. They're showing you that over here and over there is the same place. That's all. So we can get out this dumb stuff that America's not Amexem. Of course, America's Amexem too. Why would America be Egypt and not be Amexem? What are you talking about? Why would America be Seville and Morocco and all that and over here not be Amexem? Don't forget, none of this stuff is what Moors are saying. We put out the reference point of the people's names and all that. Go fact check them. Don't talk to Moors about Noble Drew Ali. Don't talk to Moors about Amexem. Don't talk to Moors about anything. Right? If you're stuck in the Moors with that type of stuff, you better be asking questions. You're a Negro black college talking crazy about Moors are rogue this and rogue that and sovereign citizen Moors and all this BS. Trying to disrespect our birthright. You wouldn't dare say anything to Chinese about their nationality. You wouldn't dare go talk to any of these Sri Lankans or whatever about their nationality. Go tell a Punjabi he can't wear his turban. As soon as Moors start being their self, now you want to do madness. Journal of Ancient History. Hieroglyphic Study. Contributions of Constantine S. Rafinesque and James H. McCullough Jr. In this document, Stewart mentions two letters that Rafinesque, who is of significant importance, between the years of 1827 and 1833. Published information on Maya hieroglyphic writing. Wrote to Champollion, both letters found in Raffinek's own Atlantic Journal and Friend of Knowledge in 8 numbers. Stewart states, of the 2 letters being Raffinek's pioneering contributions to Mayan epigraphy, specifically, Raffinek demonstrated the similarities between Maya writing with not only ancient Egyptian, but also other West African writing systems. In Volume 1, Number 1, in the spring of 1832 on the subject of philology, Raffinek in his first letter, among other things, posed to Champollion that the Americas were equal in antiquity, civilization, and sciences to the nations of Africa and Europe, like them the children of the Asiatic nations. It is false that no American nations had systems of writing, glyphs, and letters. There were several such graphic systems in America to express ideas of which find equivalence in the East continent. In the same document, Raffinek labors through to show the relationship between the glyphs of the Toltecas, Aztecas, Huaztecas, Skeres, Panos, and others with ancient Egyptian. He even provides an outline of figures and glyphs, expressing words and ideas of North and South America and their similarities as he could find with ancient Egyptian. You still think Noble Drew Ali didn't know what he was talking about? You really think he didn't know what he was talking about? Noble Drew Ali. Dedicated to the sons of man. Amexem, the land of our fathers, the land where the gods love to dwell, the birthplace of the ancient Egypt land, where civilization first saw the light of day. Now, since man has left his first religion, he has been suffering from a complex disease which in some way takes hold of his passions and desires. The misdirection of his brain causes him to become a living monster. He is a slave to his lower self. No scientists nor doctors have been able to find anything to effect a cure until the coming of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who comes from the east bringing the light of a new day. The Moorish divine movement built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the salvation for the nation. In the deliberation of nations, no consideration is given to a people who are not of a nation. In 1774, the Europeans of this country took the birthrights away from a people whom they forced under bondage. They were not slaves. They were bound freemen. The subsequent generation who followed them in this bondage were slaves, because their minds had been subjugated to the European psychology. They were branded with the name Negro and were separated from the illustrious history of their forefathers, who were the founders of the first civilization. What would make you think he's not talking about the planet? What make you think he says Amexem, land of our forefathers, Egypt land, and he's not talking over there, but then he's going to tell you about Queen Nitha, who was an Egyptian queen over here. And look her up, Neithotep. The first Egyptian pharaohs. This is a mother. Thought all the pharaohs were guys and all that stuff. Drawley was on it. 100. Right. Drawley's on it. Supreme honors. Because without his lessons, you're not going to make it. You're already not making it because you don't have his lessons. You're already in the negative. And again, showing you the two people back there. There were two in the back who you know something's up. And you had your pen and your stuff like that. You've been taking notes the whole time. And after this, you're going to go do some research and all that. Those are the two who we're talking about. Those are who we're talking to. You're not talking to the masses. The masses are asses. You're not talking to the masses. Talking to the two in the back. Moors already know this. Moors don't need this. Moors don't need to know what we're talking about. Moors already know what's up. It's just the two of you back there who know what Drawley's calling right now. Because the narrow road is travel less. You know, everybody wants the 5-lane highway and all that stuff. Nobody wants the back streets anymore. That's going to get you there faster than going on the highway. Give honors to the Prophet Noble Drawley. Because him bringing the message that he brought, we're not Negro, black color, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice and all that. Moors have put this into practice to know this is where it's at. With the pitfalls and the tribulations and everything else that comes with it, we're still riding with this before anything else. We're still riding with this before anything else. Because what Drawley presented is right and exact. You're not Negro, black, colored. You're not Negroes. You're not black. We have a nationality. We have a history that goes back to when these continents were one place. That's how far back our stuff goes. And keep in mind, we're talking about people been on this stuff for billions of years. And the people who were running it were Moors. Doesn't know anybody else. Dark-skinned people. Yeah, we had thousands of names. Got called everything in the book. No, because the ancient Egyptian highwaymen stop you, telling them you're ancient Egyptian, expect to get looked at like you're somebody. You're not doing that. Hebrew Israelite guy not telling you, you know, what they're Hebrew and all that stuff, and you don't got ID for that. You don't got paperwork for that. They go wherever, they're the same Negro on whatever the paper says that they got from the Edomite. They got the Edomite license. I'm talking crazy to Moors. You got the Edomite documents and all that, and you're playing like, you know, you're going to go back home to Israel when that's Palestine. You kind of traitors are you people? Abandon their birthright, go all the way over there to get deported over there, to get treated like nigger over there by some Israelis, some Israeli colonists. They just stayed here and get treated like BS. You going all the way over there to get treated like not the children of God. And then they're deporting you back here. No, they're deporting you back here when you said you're children from Israel and all that. No, because they know that you're from over here. Stop the dumb stuff. Even if you're Israelite, you're indigenous to over here. Not from over there. Why you going all the way to Palestine? You going over there for? You're leaving Palestine here to go Palestine way over there? When Drew Ali told you you're from Mississippi, you got up and down the Mississippi River, we had culture. When you could hear the birds' wings flapping from miles away, the Moors were the ones who civilized the earth. They even showed you in the movie with the Moors, and they tamed the giant scorpions. Letting you know. Letting you know who you are. But you don't want to be who you're supposed to be. You don't want to be a fiction. All right, be a fiction. And keep getting whatever it is that you're getting. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Supreme honors to all the mothers. And honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam Moors.